I'm Richard.
I'm Oprah.
Hope you're having a wonderful holiday with your family, and we have a funny, wacky, wonderful man on our program today.
Sexy, too.
Yes.
Willard Scott. You see him every morning on the Today Show, and he's with us today to share his joy of living with us. He used to be Ronald McDonald. Little people know that. He used to be Bozo the Clown, and now he's written a book called The Joy of Living. He's here to share it all with us on this morning's People Are Talking. Welcome, Willard.
Here comes Willard.
See you later, folks. That's all. Bozo! That's what I call a soft act. Thank you.
Oh, it's good to see you.
Gosh, it's nice to have you on the program.
You guys are sensational. We've had more fun rehearsing the show than we're going to have doing it, I'm sure. I hope.
You look a little different, I must say.
Yeah, why is that? You mean because no makeup? I didn't get any makeup.
Well, it's not the makeup. There's something...
Oh, there's something missing.
Missing.
Oh, my hair. Anybody out there see my hairpiece? Now, listen, I think this is terrific. You were nice enough to have me on for free.
Yeah.
Free. I'm here for free. You got to pay to see that hair. Really? That hair cost me $800, and I don't wear it for free. That's the best hairpiece I've ever seen in television.
It's a good one, isn't it? It's a good one.
Oh, Willard.
My hair doesn't fly well. I flew in from New York this morning. The hair gets air sick. So I just
I didn't even know until just after reading that. I mean, I never even knew that it wasn't yours.
Thank you.
Well, it is yours. You paid for it.
That's well, 2 more payments and it's mine. That's right.
You were on some show, and at the end you said, I've got to go, and took your hairpiece, put it down on the table, and walked out.
Well, you know, it's funny because people say, why do you wear hair on television? You don't need it. You know, you look all right with that. You wear hair on television because somebody about 20 years ago said, hey, you want to do some commercials, buddy? You wear hair. So I went out and bought some hair. Went up to Philadelphia and bought my first hairpiece. I still have it. It's in its little potty chair now. But it was always sort of a joke because I only wore it on the air. And in Washington, all the years that I worked in Channel 4 in Washington, I would take the thing off New Year's and have Happy New Year written across my head, you know, and stick the head to Liz.
Well, when you first started to have a receding hairline, I understand it's a traumatic thing for most men.
Yeah, it sort of runs in your family, they tell me. And on the mother's side. On the mother's side. So I really started to lose hair when I was about 20 years old, and there was a marked difference between 20 and 25. So those are my you know, as they say in the Holy Manuals, those peak years.
Yes. You know, there are some people who only see you on the Today Show that have no idea where you got your beginnings in this wonderful business of broadcasting. Can you give us just a verbal resume, just for a second?
Well, I started as an NBC page in Washington at Channel 4, or WRC Radio then. And at the same time, I worked at a radio station. I was 15 years old at the time. And this is a typical story of almost everybody in our business, don't you think? I mean, I hung around, and that's the whole name of the game. You say, how do you get started in this business? Kids come to me all the time, and I say, just hang around. Pick out a station you like, maybe some of the people.
And just be there.
And just be there. Go for coffee, you know. Answer the switchboard if you want, write little notes and things like that. So I really hung around and hung around and hung around, and I finally got my job as a staff announcer in 1953. And this fella, Frank Blair, who worked at WRC, left and went to the Today Show. He was the first weatherman on the Today Show, and he read the news, and I replaced him on staff. My whole life has been a combination of a little bit of work, but mostly dumb luck. Yeah. Because I was supposed to be summer relief announcer, and Frank left at opening. And, you know, in those days, staff announcers, they came in, they died. 30 years later, they hauled them away. And nobody ever left the job. So this left one of the first openings for a long time at that station, and that's really how I got started as a staff announcer.
Then you worked 17 years with Ed Walker.
A wonderful relationship, my partner on the Joy Boys, and I did Ronald McDonald. I started as Bozo. Stu Kerr, of course, Bozo here in Baltimore, and I was the Bozo in Washington.
How'd you get to be Bozo? We've always wanted to.
Well, I said I was the youngest guy on staff. All the old staff announcers were 40 or over at that time. They either had hernia operations or heart attacks, and they couldn't swing on the rope. So they sent me to clown school in California, Larry Harmon Productions, and I went to clown school for a week out in California. And I learned how to fall off a rope and laugh and do dumb things. And then I came back to Washington. But you know, it's tough being a clown in Washington.
Why?
The professionals run you out of business.
What do you do in clown school, though? What do they actually teach you to do? You go to classes?
Yeah, we went to class. We were taught how to laugh, you know, and say, hey, boys and girls, how are you? Gee, it's good to see you. You know,
That's fabulous.
Isn't that wonderful?
What else?
I bought a house and 2 cars with that act. That's sick. But I'll tell you, one of the funny stories, Tommy Holman, one of my dearest friends who's a floor manager in WRC, I think he's a director now, but Tommy, we had a rope, and I would put my foot on the rope, and I'd only swing maybe 5 feet. But on the camera, you would swing past the camera, you know, and it looked like you were swinging out over, and the audience was like this audience, and as I came back center camera, I fell on the floor on my you-know-what, and then I'd come up off the floor and say, hey, welcome to the Bozo Show, and then the kids would yell, hi, Bozo. But Tommy thought that this was hurting my foot, this rope, so he made a little cutout, like a notched, you know, swing, kid swing, and he put a board in there, a little 2x4. Well, the only thing we didn't plan was that after I sat back up, the rope came back. So the first time on the air experiment, I did my laugh. I fell off the rope with the board in it. I sat up, bing, it knocked me out. And the guy who was the director, his name is Cousin Cupcake, Bob Porter. He did the show on Saturday morning. I heard, the last thing I heard before I fainted was on the intercom. I heard, "What's wrong with Willie? What's wrong with Willie?" And
You really went out?
like a light. I went out, knocked me out. Yeah.
So you're Bozo for how many years?
4 years Bozo.
And you were the first Ronald McDonald.
And out of Bozo, that's the only interesting part of this whole story, I guess, really, is that really and truly, Ronald McDonald was born in Washington, D.C. And as they say in horse racing, Ronald out of Bozo. Because Bozo was the father of Ronald McDonald. I did appearances for the McDonald's people, and when we lost the franchise to do Bozo, the McDonald's people wanted their own clown. So we came up with Ronald McDonald, the hamburger happy clown. And the first commercials were cut in Washington.
Well, did you get millions of dollars for it?
Oh, I can't begin to tell you on the air what I got for that.
Really? Sure you can. Lots of hair pieces.
Lots of hair pieces. No, you know, it's one of those things. A month ago, I was in Chicago. I've had a wonderful relationship with the McDonald's people. I never became the National Ronald, which I'm not mad about that. I was hurt because that was my character and I created the thing, and no, I didn't get anything out of it, except they treated me very well in Washington for the years.
And you always get free Big Macs.
Always a Big Mac. This is one big, huge 240-pound Big Mac. But they gave me a lovely award a month ago in Chicago. They gave me the first Ronald McDonald Award. They gave me a boot. That's what they gave me the first time. But this was on a plaque.
Oh,
and that's nice. We have a good relationship.
That's great. And when we come back, we must find out how you got to the Today Show and about how you became a TV weather person and money.
Money buys it. Money can buy it.
And we'll also talk about Willard's wonderful book called The Joy of Living. If you have any questions for Willard, we'll be back to answer them after this. Don't go away.
State Lottery has a new game called Pick 4. Pick 4? That's right. I know you can bounce back. Taxi! Listen here. The lottery's new Pick 4 game is played twice a week. Now a player can pick any 4-digit number to play. More ways to play, and more numbers mean bigger cash prizes. What do you say, Zero?
Come on and play. Come play the Maryland
Play the lottery's new Pick 4 game. It's a ball.
I say I detest cleaning my oven. You have to plan your sort of days cleaning around it.
Try this oven cleaner. Sheila Schultz is about to discover something fast and easy. Today's Easy Off Oven Cleaner.
Wow, that cleaned very fast. Look at that. What is this anyway? Oh, that's Easy Off. One swipe, you saw, and I got all that debris off. I've tried Arm & Hammer. This was clearly superior.
Easy Off makes oven cleaning easier.
Easy Off with the anti-fume valve.
I'm definitely going to go out and buy Easy Off.
Get tacos like you like them from Old El Paso.
Start with fresh, crisp Old El Paso taco shells with all the fresh corn flavor of stone ground corn. Golden, crisp, and so tasty.
Get tacos like you like them, and you like them, and you like them.
Get tacos like this from Old El Paso, where the taco shells are crisp and fresh. Like I like them.
Get tacos like you like them from Old El Paso.
It might not look like it sometimes, but there's an underlying order to the game of football. Diagram plays, a clock, rules. Every player knows what to expect. Life doesn't work that way. There are hidden tragedies beyond our control, and no one to call timeout or throw a penalty flag. Retinitis pigmentosa is a hereditary eye disease that strikes without warning. Hundreds of thousands of people have RP and other inherited eye diseases. That would fill a lot of football stadiums. We don't know the cause or the cure, just the symptoms. night blindness, and tunnel vision, followed by a gradual loss of sight. The RP Foundation is sponsoring research in many hospitals and universities. They've started the retina donor program, improved diagnostic techniques, and helped with vision aids. And there are RP information centers all over the country. If you or a member of your family has RP, contact your local RP chapter.
Tis the season, and Willard makes us joyous, and he's written a book called The Joy of Living. You can find it in your bookstores. Just ask for it if it's not out there. The Joy of Living by Willard Scott. I mean, big time, Willard. The really big time. So big time you have now written a book.
Well, that's been a thrill. I never planned to write a book. You say, well, why do you write a book? Well, the first answer usually is because you want the money, right? But the truth is, I got with the guy Bill Adler in New York, and after I'd been on the Today Show for about 3 months, you know, I was not an instant hit.
You were not?
One of the first cards, one of the greatest cards I've ever gotten in my career was right after the Today Show started and I got on the show. Tom Brokaw used to always say, good morning, I'm Tom Brokaw. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Gene. Good morning, Willard. Somebody wrote a postcard to the Today Show and sent it to me, and I got the subtle message. The postcard said, good morning, Tom. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Gene. Good morning, Willard. Goodbye today. Good morning, America.
Oh, my God.
That hurt.
Did you get a lot of negative mail at the beginning?
Not a whole lot. 800 the first week. That wasn't too bad.
That's not
bad.
That's a lot. What did it say? What didn't they like?
Well, no, I got more mail the first week, I did personally, than the whole show got put together. And the thing it was half and half. It was half, get that big gorilla off the air. You know, the Today Show is a very sedate, quiet, sort of, you know, refined program. It's changed a little bit. And then I come on, you know, they had Ken and Barbie, you know, Tom Brokaw and Jane Pauley, everybody's favorite. Next door, hi there, I'm so nice and clean and I love you. And I come on, you know, like this gorilla that I am. And I was offensive to a lot of these people, just like to this audience. Half of them left a minute ago during the commercial.
Is that why you put the chapter in the book, even a gorilla can do weather?
Well, basically now, with all of the stuff that you have at your disposal, you know, the meteorologists, with all respect, 90% of it's done through telemetry sent into a computer, and even the maps are now made out of computers, you know, from computers. So I said that as a gag, but it's the truth. If you can read, you can do weather. 90% of it is shtick. I'll bet right here in Baltimore, the guy that's the #1 weatherman is not the stern meteorologist. He's a guy that has fun and people relate to him.
And he happens to work at our station.
I knew that, so I thought
yes.
Happens to.
His name's Bob Turk. We have another named Marty Bass.
Yeah, right.
You mean the Sunshine Kid.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, you know Bob.
I know Bob very well. And I'm a big fan of his, too, and he's living proof of what I'm talking about. There's only 2 ways you can say partly cloudy. I'm a Southern Baptist, so I say partly sunny, you know, so that leaves partly cloudy.
Let's see what some of our audience members have to say to Willard. Your question, please. Good morning.
Hi. I'm wondering if your wife ever gets a word in. What's your wife like?
My wife rules the roost.
Tell us about your family.
Yeah, that's a darn good question. We've been married 23 years to each other, and it works out pretty well that way. And the truth is she runs everything. She really does. I run my mouth when I'm here. You know, I pay $700 to the union every year to talk, and by golly, I'm going to get my money's worth. But at home, I shut up, and she runs everything.
You do talk about the importance of the family here, and you're a very fun-loving person, but the family is very important to you. It always has been. Your parents had a farm on the Maryland-Pennsylvania line.
My mother's family.
And you're kind of a local guy. Tell us about your family. Well, there's you and your... how old are the girls here?
That's the Ronald McDonald. That's the original Ronald suit. That's Mary, the big one on the left over there. Sally's now 17, and she'll love that picture. She's the one with my hand on her head. I'm trying to shut her up. She talks as much as I do. And little Mary's the shy one. She's 21, goes to University of Arizona, Tucson. She's a senior this year. And in fact, the whole book really, when you go through a thing about somebody said, well, you ought to write a book. I wrote the book, and once I got into it, I really became Herman Wouk, James Michener. I took it seriously. That's the only similarity.
But the book sounds just like you.
Well, the lady that I spoke to on the tape recorder, Pam Proctor, put the ideas together, but the words are mine. And the whole point is, the whole point the book was written was, my friend Bill Adler says, you're happy, you like your job, you seem to you know, make that clear on the air. Why are you happy? And the reason that I came up with was the fact that I've been loved all of my life. I came from a family where love was #1. I went to an old Baptist church in Alexandria where the preacher was a big old man from Georgia who at the end of the service every Sunday would come scoop the kids up in his arms and kiss them. My grandfather used to hug me and kiss me. I mean, it sounds like a sloppy scene, but do you know that pays the greatest dividends in the world? And I believe that the very strength and heart of happiness is a family that loves each other. I swear with all my heart and soul. That, well, I always get to something.
Great.
But that is it. You know, we are...
That's great.
We in the last 20 years, we are so screwed up in our values, and we have so missed, you know, the trees for the forest type thing, you know, because that is the strength. That's where it's at. And we've tried everything that Sodom, Gomorrah, Tyre, Rome. We've tried it all, and I think people are coming back. Young kids are realizing that. I mean, with all respect, divorce sometimes becomes something that has to be done because it's an impossible situation. But I swear, too, that I believe that it's become a throwaway, no deposit situation where if it doesn't work after 6 months, you know, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Who cares? Mary and I have worked in our marriage. We used to beat each other up. She used to take a saucepan and hit me on the chest and flattened it one time. I threw a thermos bottle at her. I can't tell you the times that we've walked and stormed out of the house, but we stuck it out. Works, makes a difference.
What's your question?
Hi.
Hi.
Have you ever feared that one morning you're going to wake up and all your success has been over, would be over?
Yeah, I've thought
Just
about that.
everything gone?
The only thing I can say, and this is part of my little philosophy, it's in the book, 1395, Carnegie Hagen, McCann, Webb. I have had such a good run, and you know, one nice thing is what I have had happen to me, like to go to New York and become the weather, and I go around the country, make speeches. All of that came to me a little later in my career. They don't owe me a thing. I mean, if it were over tomorrow, if they threw me out, I would call buses at Trailways because I'm a ham. I mean, I'd find something to do.
Huh.
But no, I would
You'd call buses at
I'd do.
Didn't you used to do that? Not at Trailways, but at Kmart.
No.
Attention shoppers.
I started at
S. Klein.
I thought you did.
Well, no, I auditioned. You know what? I auditioned for that job at the S. Klein in Greenbelt.
Yeah,
but
you lost.
I didn't lose, but I was filling out applications, and people around me didn't know the date and didn't know their address, and I felt really bad. So I left. But I had done bingos and I'd done bus announcements.
You know
Attention shoppers, sale.
The only job I ever got fired from, I was 12 years old and I was calling the counter sales at Murphy's in Alexandria.
What did you say?
Well, what I didn't say is what got me fired. I was reading all this stuff, you know, potato peelers are 25 cents at counter 7B in the basement. And then they brought one in. Special bras on sale, special sizes, cup C, D, or whatever, you know. And I was 12 years old, and I had high school buddies in there. I couldn't read bras in 1947 on a PA system. And I said, I can't do it. And the guy said, go.
Oh.
So I lost my first job because of a bra.
My first job, that is amazing.
Can you imagine?
That's amazing. I used to call up people and ask them, is the lady of the house home? And I was trying to sell Kirby vacuum cleaners.
Right. Oh, well, but see, that was part of your personality you were developing in those days.
I know, that's where it started.
And we have a question for you, Willard. Your question?
Beautiful.
I would like to know what happens to all the goodies people send you, the cakes, the brownies, the cookies.
Well, here's about 6 brownies. Here's some cookies. Here are 14 cakes, right? Anybody with brown eyes, I'm crazy about. We really do eat them on the show. Now, that's in this day and age, you have to be very careful.
Wow.
Isn't that? I let the let me correct that. I leave the cake for the engineers. And I go out and walk around. A half hour later, if I come back and they're still on their feet, I have a piece.
Gosh.
No, you know, we get stuff. We only will eat things, for instance, that we know where they have come from. Somebody will have called up first. We've met them face to face. Anything that comes in that just has been sent through the mail, we wouldn't eat.
I just wonder if the Today Show staff is like our newsroom. People will eat anything back there. You can put anything back there.
Absolutely.
A pack of rats.
Absolutely.
And come back and it will be gone.
You're dead right. Absolutely.
If there was ever a garbage strike in Baltimore, I'd bring it into the newsroom.
That's right.
Because I know they get rid of it.
And there's certain people who will take anything. Sometimes you get this grotesque little paper mache horrible nothing, and the next thing you know, God come up and say, hey, what are you going to do with that after this? I say, yeah, you're right. They'll take anything, right?
Anybody ever said anything dangerous or anything that wasn't nice to you?
On the Today Show? No,
Yeah.
no, I don't think so.
You know what?
A lot of funny things. We've got some really things we couldn't use on the air.
Like what?
A raft of prairie pizzas. You know what they are?
What?
Do you know what it is? Who laughed? You know what a prairie pizza is?
What is it?
You want to tell them what it is?
What is it?
Well, when I first got one in the mail, I thought it was, you know, somebody out in Des Moines, Iowa, had a pizza factory, and they were just going to send us a pizza. Well, it is kind of a dehydrated cow plump. and they call them prairie pizzas.
Wrap they send you?
No, they sent him.
Well, you know, they have what they call cow chip contests, and they use them for the cow chip.
Yeah.
Well, that's a cow chip. That's right.
Prairie
Buffalo
pizza.
whoopee.
Prairie pizza, buffalo whoopee.
Oh, Willard. Yes, your question, please.
Hi.
Crazy about red hair.
Me too.
Any hair.
He loves them all, I tell you.
You're looking so terrific. How did you lose your weight?
Thank you.
Now, I don't want to knock weight because I'm married to a great big fat man and I love it. But
Yeah.
it really looks good on you. How did you lose all that weight?
Thank you. Well, I've lost, as I say, if anybody just tunes in now for the first time and they say, lost weight, what did he look like before? Because I'm still Zoftic at 245. But I lost about 40 pounds. I met Nathan Pritikin on the show. And you know, diets are all sort of funny things. You have to be in the mood to really do it, one. I mean, you have to make up your mind. It's like a religious conversion, you know. You say, by gosh, now I'm going to do it. The time has come. I'm ready. One, that's for starters. Then you've got to find something that works for you.
And that worked for you, Pritikins?
Well, it's
the toughest.
It's horrible. But let me tell you why. I'm a 70% Pritikinite. Now, for those of you who don't know Pritikin is more carbohydrate and less fats. Now but you know what I did really that helped me more? I gave up cocktail hour, and I love my Jack Daniels, let me tell you, when the sun goes down. But I gave up whiskey, and I knew that had to be a prerequisite because I would eat anything during cocktail hour. I won't go crazy.
How about Dwarves?
What? Oh, Dewar's Scotch. Oh, well, I drank anything. I'd drink Fusel oil if I could get out of the radiator. Because I was never a lush, but I like whiskey. I love my cocktail hour. But that puts weight on you, like we say, a drunken sailor. So I knocked off that religiously. I knocked off salt. And I'm about a 70% Pritikinite. I eat far more grains and carbohydrates than I do fats anymore. I love steak, and I had to give up some of that and beef. But you know, grains, you can sit down and eat pizza. People don't believe this. I can eat 4 plates of not pizza, spaghetti, but eat it primavera with vegetables instead of meat sauce. And I have lost weight on it.
Well, do they have anything to say about your weight when you're on TV like that?
Oh, that has been one of the saving graces. Do you know that Mail started? That was a big criticism when I first started. They criticized the fact that I was so big. And the
viewers did, or
the viewers? And I've gotten letters now saying, we didn't like you when you were first on television because you were so fat. Now that you've proven to the world that you have willpower, you're an inspiration to all, you know. And that has been a trouble.
Do you still get a lot of mail, Willard?
A lot of mail. Yeah,
Do you answer it? Do you get to answer it?
I have a lady that does. I get about 1,500 letters a week.
Lucky you.
My kind of act is conducive to mail. And you know, as we said earlier, I kid about that early mail being negative, and it was, but that wasn't a bad sign. The fact in television, the worst thing can happen is no mail. The fact that they were watching and I offended them in the beginning meant that they knew who I was.
Why do you say you're a very selfish person?
Well, because I don't ever do anything that I don't get something back for. I mean, that's why I say I wouldn't fool with religion if it didn't give me something back. Because it would be a waste of time.
But you know what I've noticed about you? You seem to be egoless. I mean, which is rare for people in this business, to not to have some kind of sense of ego. You know, I mean, most of us do.
Yeah, well, I do,
Yours doesn't show.
That's you're right. That's it. I managed to stifle it. That's right. I use the old line, if you're not too bright, you don't have any feelings. My older daughter and I are 2 peas in a pod. You can hit me in the mouth. You could come up and poke me right in the mouth.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can insult me. I will walk around the hall. I'll get a drink of water, and I'll see you again. Hey, how you doing, Richard?
Yeah.
I don't harbor hate. I don't harbor vengeance, and I don't harbor any kind of revenge. I never have. My daughter's the same way. In school, I had to be told, George Washington was the first president of the United States. They hit me with a hammer. George Washington was the first president of the United States. And they do it about 6 times. I never was that bright. But, you know, some people are so bright and so sensitive that they really, to their own detriment. I'm not that sensitive, but I have a heck of an ego.
All right, how about your question?
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi. You're very successful now. What are your plans for the future? What would you like to do?
What are you doing for dinner?
What are you doing later?
Oh,
that's a great
That's a good, thank you. That's a nice question. I could be very happy continuing on with what I'm doing. One of the greatest things that I have going for me right now, and I love it, and it's very lucrative too, so, you know, it makes a nice package. I go around and make speeches all over the country. I do that about twice a month now. And that plus the Today Show really is almost all I can handle. Although, being an egomaniac, I want to get a show of my own. And I'm working with 3 or 4 different groups right now. You know, it's a daytime kind of a fun show like this where you'd sit around and talk and have a good time. Maybe add a little element of game show quality because that's what stations buy. You have to use a little sales pitch, you know, because most of the stations, they want a game show. They don't want a variety show. But I'm working on that right now.
That's great.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Well, we wish you a lot of luck. It was wonderful for you to stop in here.
Well,
It was downright nice of you.
Lord have mercy, child. I'm in love again. You were sweet to have. And thanks for plugging the book.
Well, you've always been a favorite of ours, and we wish you a lot of luck. Even though you're on the competition, we wish you luck.
May not be forever. I'm available 2 years. The contract is up, so call Rune Arledge. Rune Arledge, that's 664-5488, area code 2. I work for
All right. Willard Scott's The Joy of Living. Thank you, Willard.
We'll be back in just a moment.
This is the taste. This is the test. Pepsi versus Coke. The Pepsi Challenge. And all across America, more people pick Pepsi. Time after time after time.
Oh, what a time. It's gonna be Pepsi now. The winning taste is Pepsi. It's gonna be Pepsi now. Taste what Pepsi's giving. It's gonna be Pepsi now.
If all mowers look the same to you, maybe you aren't looking close enough. Look how Toro gives you more power to cut through tough grass without stalling. Look how Toro makes bagging this simple. Look at Toro's easy starting high torque engine. And look, Toro quickly converts to a side discharge mower, mulcher, or dethatcher. Take a closer look at your Toro dealer today.
Save up to $50 now at participating dealers. Sale ends May 22nd.
The Baltimore City Police Department and Channel 13 continue their fight to keep Baltimore a safe place to live. Join me at our next community meeting where you can learn new ways to protect yourself and your loved ones from crime. Join the growing number of citizens who've joined the anti-crime team and seen results in their fight to keep crime out of their neighborhoods. I urge you to join me on Tuesday, April 26th at 7:30 at the Baltimore City Police Headquarters, 601 East Fayette Street. I look forward to seeing you there.
There's a spirit in the air. The United States Air Force. The challenge, the pride, the wings of America. Find out how you can be part of the Air Force experience. Aim high. Air Force.
Nothing will stop the U.S. Air Force.
Come play McDonald's $1 Million Taste Game.
Take all your favorite tastes, that's how you begin. Then get them all together and win. Win a Big Mac, quarter pounder with cheese. Chicken McNuggets, fillet of fish, please. Get it with a Coke, get it with fries. Get it with $1 million or an instant prize.
You can win $1 million when you play McDonald's $1 Million Taste Game. If you stop into McDonald's now, you can also get a coupon worth $3.50 off your next trip to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. So come in for the $1 Million Taste, then come out to Busch Gardens.
Nikon is precision. Nikon is state-of-the-art technology.
Nikon is made by Mitsubishi, makers of Beltway West Mitsubishi's precise, technologically advanced cars and trucks.